Nobody's taken it, so there's definitely something wrong with it. Hello and welcome to the Reimagine podcast. My name's Sean.
And my name is Kylie.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today as we begin to do our podcast from our elevated position above a river in northern New South Wales, Australia. Our podcast name is Reimagine, and we welcome you to our podcast. We thank you so much for finding us. We're going to be reimagining over the next hour or so with you.
So today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about restoration and abundance. We will be revisiting our very first podcast for 2024, where we talked about the abundant life and all of those things that we were declaring over this year. We want to have a check-in. Where are you guys at with that? Did you listen to that podcast? And did you have dreams and hopes? Were you imagining something beautiful and wonderful this year? This morning I awoke at 4:44 and jumped out of bed and penned some beautiful words because we are in an 888 abundant gate today. It is.
Did you set your alarm for 4:44, Kylie?
I actually set my alarm for 4:45.
And you woke up 4:44, okay, and you got up and you said that you started penning some incredible words. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so over to you.
I'm going to be releasing those on our social media platforms and talking a little bit about that today. But it's just that time of the year. I was thinking about August, thinking about we've got 4 more months till the end of the year. And what is it that we had desired to see happen this year? We were really declaring over this year abundance and opportunities and new ways. We were talking about being activated in the things that we believe for and in, and doing that out of our seat of rest, as we have been learning about this place of meditation and stillness and coming into the center of our being, visiting that place within ourselves where all the answers for our own journeys dwell, within the dwelling place of His presence, which is within us. So yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of those different things today. It's going to be exciting. So it's taken us a while to get here today. We've been videoing our journey of filming the podcast and what that looks like. And sometimes these kind of things, when you're like not just flowing in the natural flow and you're actually documenting the natural flow, it doesn't feel so natural.
Yes, we're trying to put together a little bit of footage for people that are supporting us via Patreon, and just as a little glimpse into the window of our lives, I suppose, just so that you know what it looks like when we do our podcast. You know, you have some sort of an idea of the setup and the equipment involved. We just wanted to share a little bit more of our lives with those people that are really interested in what it is that we do. And so to do that, there's been a little bit more stress involved this morning than normal, where you just jump on your bike with your microphone shoved in your pocket and you head to the glorious location and just start. There's a bit more planning involved. So you're right. I feel like our podcast from last week, where we spoke about living in heaven at the same time as we're on earth, and how it seems to be far easier to live in those heavenly dimensions than focusing solely on what is happening on earth. I feel like there's times this morning where I've stepped back into being grounded on earth and forgetting that I function in heaven at the same time. And it's happens so easily, even to somebody like myself, that really I have a life, I'm leading a life that I'm extremely grateful for right now, where I'm not running around with the busyness of the world. I'm not focused on the things that I used to be focused on. I've stepped outside of the patterns of the world and stepped into the reality of living on earth and heaven at the same time. Yet every now and again, I seem to forget. And I seem to get annoyed with you, especially. Yes. But if you weren't here, who would I be annoyed at?
Exactly. Probably just be annoyed with yourself.
Well, I don't know that I would be annoyed. We were talking to somebody yesterday. We've been speaking to a few people lately, actually people that have not got life partners. We've been married for 30 years and we've been speaking to people that have not got that in their lives. We've been speaking to people that have had partners and people that have never had partners, and just talking about what it's like to have partners and to not have. And it's certainly not the case that I regret being married. That's certainly not the case at all. But I do see, and I'm sure that you even more so would sometimes rather that you didn't marry me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't say that I think that it would be better if I didn't marry you, but I think there are definitely times where you feel like you'd have more freedom if you could just make exactly the choice that you wanted to make and you didn't have to take the other person's thoughts and feelings into consideration. And I think that's what you do when you go into partnership. You marry somebody, you're having this place of agreement where you're choosing to do life differently because you're choosing to do it with somebody else. And that's, that is something that you decide together to do. And I think that we want to go on this pathway that leads us into whatever adventure is unfolding before the both of us. And yeah, that looks different to if we had chosen to do that alone. And of course, I often look at adventurers that are adventuring around the globe and they're doing that as a solo journey. And sometimes you look in the window of those people's lives and think, oh, wow, they're so brave. They're doing that on their own. But then you think also, wow, they actually can do that because they're on their own, and that there wouldn't necessarily be that option there if they had decided to be in a relationship or be tied down into some kind of geographical location, bought a house, got a job, doing all of those things. And I think that it's an interesting topic and an interesting conversation that we found ourselves in. And once again, I think it comes back to what you were just talking about before, that place of gratitude. And this is something we talked about in our podcast at the start of the year. The abundant portal, this place of flow in 2024. And today, where we're recording the podcast on the 8th of the 8th, 24, we've got 3 8s. We've got an 8 8 and a 2 4 8, which is an 8 portal.
Hang on a second, you just skipped right over that. You've got an 8 and an 8 and a 2 4 what?
Well, 24, which is 2 4s, which is an 8.
24 is not 2 4s. 24 is 2 12s.
No, 24 is 2 4s. It's 2 4.
2 times 4.
Yes, 2 times
2
4.
4s, which are 8. Okay, it's just that you sort of went right past that. I'm really interested in how people do all these number things, like where they go, okay, it's 888, that's open jaws. It's 2468, that means open jaws. It's like everybody just makes up whatever they want to make up and says that today's the door of abundance, where you step through this portal into this abundant existence that looks no different to where you already are.
Exactly.
So back to where you were.
Well, part of it is the revelation of where you already are. Part of it is the gratitude that opens up all of those things that we desire to be a part of our now. And I think it comes out of that place of being grateful for the things that are in our now and investing into those things. I could see when you were fussing around with all of your technical gear when we were starting to arrive here, and I could see all of these seeds and they were just like flying around in the wind. They were like whoosh, wisping around, and it was really cool. I was just thinking about the seeds and I was thinking about what that means. In this place of abundance, I feel like there are so many opportunities, and these seeds are like opportunities to sow into different people, to love people, to have the opportunity for conversations, to buy somebody coffee, to invest into somebody's dream. They're places of opportunity that allow us to open up the gateways of flow in our life. And I think we spoke earlier in the year about those portals of abundance and how that flow starts with it flowing out, like it's flowing out of us. And then it's making way for more to flow in. It comes out of the heart place. It comes out of that space that's deep within us, that's cracking open something really beautiful and wonderful. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so this morning as I sat in that beautiful place of flow where I was just in my space within myself, in the garden of my heart, and I was just visiting what is it that is opening up for us? What is this beautiful place? What is this adventure that we're on? What is our life about? Like, what are we even here for? Who are we? What is going on? And it's really crazy. I've got this beautiful picture. I could see these abundance portals that were open. That's the only way I can describe it. And they looked like water slides. They were like these beautiful color-filled gateways into this glorious realm of forevermore. And I felt like here in this land of promise, in this land of Canaan, this Garden of Eden, this place of the Sechem, the dreaming, there was this whisper, this time of Sion within these fertile lands of the Goshen, like all these beautiful places within the biblical text that are this promised land, this place of abundance, this place of milk and honey, this place of flow, this place where we find ourselves pulled away into the hiddenness of our Father, where we can begin to dream out of this place. And there's always been these places where this is the forevermore, where this is illustrated as a body of people, as a tribe, like the tribe of Judah, the crossing over place, the place where we're coming into that promised land. And then I could hear this lion roar, and it was like, whoa, what is beginning? Like, what is this place? I could feel this rising. And then I could just see the remembering. And I feel like it does come back to so many of the themes that we often talk about in our podcast. Like, we're remembering who we are, what is going on in our lives. Like, we're trying to figure these things out. Sometimes it feels boring. We're going over the same stuff again. But is this not the place that we each come back to when we're just trying to do the simple walking out our existence? We find ourselves revisiting these places over and over again. How are we back here? We're paying the same bills. We're in this same scenario. We're feeling like we haven't got any breakthrough. Well, this is where we want to be challenging you this morning, and where we want to challenge ourselves. Are those things that we dreamt up in the beginning of this year becoming our reality? Have we actually been activated in the place of the dreaming? And what are we seeing? Like, what are we seeing? And I feel like we had this moment the other day, babe, like when we were going, oh my goodness, like all of these things are coming toward us. And I was saying to you this morning when we were having coffee, what were those things, those tiny little simple things that have started to come toward us? I was trying to remember what some of them were. Like, did you remember what they were?
No. No, I don't. I don't remember at the beginning of the year what it is that I thought August would look like, and we're in August now. If I thought that it was going to look like it looks like right now, am I supposed to be excited about this? Yeah, I am. You know, like I've got a family, I've got a home, I've got a motorbike. I've got a motorbike that I ride a lot. I've got a motorbike that we rode to get to here that I didn't have this time last year. I've just been able to have some work done to it. It's reliable. I can go wherever I want to go most days. So I'm really living in probably what I would want to be living in, or what I thought I would be living in at the beginning of the year. I'm living in that reality right now. I've got time to draw. I've been creating pictures. I've got a couple of hundred pictures. I've got some pictures that I'm about to release to the world that people are going to be able to purchase and put on their walls or have on their shirts or various different ways as well. There's a lot that's been going on between January of this year and August of this year for me that is absolutely positive, that is absolutely most likely part of my dream of what I dreamt was possible in January. But strangely enough, I find myself in August still desiring for more.
And I think that never ceases. I think that was like a part of what we were talking about in January too. We were talking about the abundant life, and it is our door to the more. Like, it is this place where we are being so grateful in our now, but not in a settled kind of way where we're never wanting anything else to happen, but that we're always moving toward this bigger, brighter light-filled future. And I think that part of the key of being in that, like, is feeling that frequency of the gratitude that you have for everything that you have, but also for everything that is coming to. It's like that law of attraction, but it's another whole level of consciousness when we are seated in Christ in heavenly places, because we're actually operating out of that place where it's like I was standing this morning, like waiting for you to put everything on the bike, and you were saying, oh, you're like so patiently waiting there. It's because I could have been getting frustrated. Oh, goodness me, or like taking 10 minutes. I could have used that 10 minutes more so much better than just standing here waiting for you to get ready. You know, like sometimes we can be really impatient like that, and we can be thinking this is a waste of time, or I can just be tapping in to what already is. And I just was standing in this place, like just holding the door, just waiting, just going, yeah, you know, like I'm really desiring to be flowing from the center of my being, like a river, all of those things that are already mine, all of those fruits that are already mine, all of the abundant flow that is already mine. It's already flowing out of me like it is already flowing into me. And as it's flowing out of me, it's flowing into me. And it's crazy because that was another one of those things we spoke of earlier in the year, that to untap that flow, it needs to be flowing out for it to be flowing in. And that is one of those beautiful places that, yeah, I think that we're continually reminded of.
I sometimes find myself in a place of being so aware of how fortunate that I am that I wonder when it's going to end. And as I wonder, you know, is my being grateful for the things that I'm grateful for every morning before I open my eyes. I've been practicing since the very beginning of the year to open my eyes and be grateful for three things. And that has become such a habit of my awakening to every new day that I don't have to actually think about doing it now. It's the first thing that happens to me is I'm grateful for three things that I can think of. And it sets up my day to be walking in gratitude into every new day. So that's become a habit. But also at times throughout a day, I realize that I'm living in the gratitude of everything that I'm living in. My family, my home, the food we get to eat, the sunshine, the motorbike, the freedom to do the things that I really just can't believe that I actually really get to do. And then I get this little pang of, when will it end? It's too good to be true. It's too good to be true that this could be my life moving forward forever and ever, that I would just get to live a life that I've always dreamt of living, that I'm living right now, minus a few little things. There's always something more that I think that we all desire to have, come into our space, you know, whether it's more incomes for, you know, more travel or accessories that you want for your bike or your car, or there's always something that you're desiring to have. But even knowing that I have right now probably a life beyond what I ever thought I could be living, I still have this little, but when's it going to run out? When's it going to end? When are you going to have to do something for a long period of time that you don't actually want to do again? When's that going to happen?
And that is this process. I felt like I heard all of that when I heard that lion roar this morning in that gate. And it was part of this process of adaptation, like what you're talking about. It's this place of kingship. It's understanding who we are in this space, and that when we know who we know that it never runs out, that we are seated in heavenly places, in that place, knowing who we are in the promised land, in the Canaan, like in the Eden. It is this Goshen place within us. It's this place of the beginning. It's like this place of open doors. It's this place of opportunities and expanded realities. The synchronicities of our life, the place bliss of those things that are moving toward us, good things moving toward us. We keep saying this, and like I was saying earlier before, we keep on saying this, everything is coming toward us. It's this place of bliss. It's this adventurous perspective that we're adapting to that is coming out of a no longer striving into a destination reality. Like it's when we get there, like when we finally get there and everything is perfect and then we'll be happy. But it's actually remembering the eternal now. It's this new now. It's this place of we are there in the fullness of the fun park reality right now. It's like that picture I saw of the lion with the water slides this morning. It's like these portals of open abundance, this flow, this crystal clear flowing from the throne rooms of heaven that is within me, that is bringing me into the fullness of the fun park reality. It's like the joy that never ceases because I know it's never going to run out. So I never need to be making decisions out of a fear-based reality that is saying this is going to end, this is going to end. Because we spoke about this in our abundance podcast earlier in the year, where lack and abundance don't coexist. They're not in the same frequency. They're not in the same reality. There is nothing synchronistic about the two. So we can either be living out of the frequency of lack or the frequency of abundance. And the abundance portals that is really prevalent right now is not a place of lack. It's a place of kingship. It's a place of sonship. It's a place of knowing who we are.
Well, there's bound to be people listening, Kylie, that experience what I shared about when is this going to end. I'm absolutely certain that I'm not the only person on the planet that every now and again has thoughts cross my mind like that. So for somebody else that also feels like no matter how amazing their life is, that there's some sort of distant thought that arises, oh, yes, but this is bound to end. Like, how do you realistically help somebody live in the full-time reality that things are only ever going to get better and more expansive and more exciting, that you can live in a place of knowing that your future is brighter than it is right now, outside of just saying that that's what it is? Because lots and lots and lots of words don't necessarily help everybody that sometimes feels like things are not going to be okay.
It's so true. And I think my journey this year was, particularly all those months and months at the beginning of the year, was to actually have a physical reality of my seated in rest, because I think everything looks different for everyone, because we're all on our individual pathways. And I chose this year to make so many of these things that I believed, to actually activate them in a physical space so that they could become more tangible and real to me. So every single morning I would sit in a place of meditation and bring myself into a stillness, like this place of no things running around in my mind, no things trying to distract me and pull me away, but actually coming into this beautiful place of bliss where I could find myself in stillness. And I think this place was the place that I could see this morning, like the lion roaring, the kingship awakening, the sonship that is rising within us, where wisdom can whisper, I'm here with you in the bliss. Yes, like it's this place, the lion of the tribe of Judah. And I sat in that too this morning, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Like, this is the Lion's Gate reality. This is something, if we're going to put it into language, that is like all encompassing of all humanity in this universal space where we're speaking of the lion. And the lion is one who sits at, like I get this picture, like in The Lion King, where he was standing above the kingdom and he was looking out over all of the kingdom. It was like he was this one who was not shaken. Like he wasn't disturbed by the noise that surrounded him, but he was seated in his place of kingship, in this place of rest. It was like I've been sitting in meditation in the backyard on this little platform where I'd be overlooking all of the garden. It was like I'm overlooking this plant kingdom.
Is your little platform like that guy in... What's that movie that the old guy teaches the young guy how to do karate from our
Oh,
childhood?
yeah, the Karate Kid.
Are you talking about a platform like that where Daniel-san is standing on a little pier, a little bit of wood, and jumping from one foot to the other? Is that what you're doing every morning?
Yeah, kind of like that, but I'm not on a tiny little post like that. I'm on this little platform that's made of cement that has actually got enough space for me to roll out my yoga mat and sit there. And I'm
Okay, because
looking
I just
over.
want to try and help people get an image of what it is that they should be doing, because it sounds to me like you're living in this perfect existence of roaring lions and Goshen stuff, whatever the hell that is. Goshen, like, there's this, in this world of Christian mysticism, which I guess is the world that we sometimes think that we function in. Everybody's releasing these words all of the time, prophesying different things into the future, and you can grab a hold of them and live by them, or choose for them to be your reality or not. And there's all this language around at the moment about Goshen. Like, what in the hell is Goshen, and where did you get that from when you rolled out your yoga mat on your little Daniel-san platform in the morning? Is that where it came from? Is that why there's people like me in the world that have these moments of falling short, of forgetting that everything's going to be fine, because we're not standing around on our platforms in the morning when the sun comes up dreaming of lions roaring and Goshen end times? What in the hell are you talking about?
Well, this is the physical reality of the spiritual seated in rest place. So when I began unpacking all of these things on this journey, is like, okay, in the Bible we get to see the physical illustration of what actually is a kingdom reality within us. So these heavenly places within that we talked about last week, they're illustrated in actual geographical illustrations in the Bible that reveal to us places of promise and places of abundance and places of milk and honey. So, for example, like Canaan, the promised land, this place of milk and honey, the Garden of Eden, this place of perfect abundance, like Goshen, which is this region in Egypt where the Israelites lived this time of Sion, which is like this time of pulling awayness, this time of rest. In this place of fertility, this place of abundance, there's Bethlehem, there's all of these different examples, Jerusalem, Galilee, these places in the Bible that illustrate a place of fertility, a place of abundance, a place where we have this physical, tangible reality that can help us to unpack what is actually going on within us. And I think that's this place where I was visiting when I was meeting with the lion, hearing him roar, feeling the tangibleness of the tribe of Judah, feeling that the lion is the one seated there on his throne, overlooking the kingdom, not shaken, not disturbed by the noise that surrounds him, but rather is seated in this place of kingship and rest. And then I felt these capital letter words saying deep-seated rest within. And I feel like that comes back to that place that you were talking about earlier, where we can find ourselves being worried about how is this all going to work out? Is this going to run out? Is the favor going to run out? Is the flow going to run out? How are we going to do things when we can't see beyond everything being like it is now? And I feel like that's this place of journeying the physicality of the spirituality of ourselves. So that has been the power of taking myself into that place of meditation on that little Karate Kid platform, of finding that place of experiencing the seat of rest in a physical space, in my own little kingdom, in my back garden, for then it to become my reality, this spiritual seat within me in the heavenly places. And I would encourage you, because it has really started to be a place of flow for us now. And I just started to remember one of those things that started to happen. We've been looking for some desks for all the people in our families. So I needed a new desk because I was on this tiny little table that I'd received from my grandparents. It's this tiny little wooden table that I've been sitting on for like ages, for the last couple of years. Our son had this table, this desk that we'd got from like a thrift shop ages ago, that it had been moved and reassembled and moved and reassembled, and was literally, we couldn't screw it tightly together anymore. It was so floppy and falling apart.
When we picked it up to move it, it fell to pieces.
It actually fell to pieces. I know, it was so funny. And the same with our other son. He didn't have a desk that was suitable for his computer and everything either. So we'd been framing up the perfect desk for each one of us that we desired.
Okay, when you say we've been framing up the perfect desk, what do you mean by that? Because I'm not sitting around framing up perfect desks.
Well, framing up with our words. So basically, one of our sons was saying he really wanted a straight, heavy-duty white desk.
Yeah, okay. So framing up is speaking into existence the things that you see that you want for your future that you don't actually have right now.
Exactly.
That's what you mean by framing up.
by framing up. And it's giving the existence of that thing somewhere to land, because you've created a picture, and then it's almost like we're framing up in our imagination our ideal desk setup, and then it starts to come toward us.
You're planting a seed with your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. And then our other son, he was wanting one of those desks that goes up and down, like so you can sit at it or you can stand at it.
Yes, and he didn't want one that was just like hydraulically lifted, or that you mechanically had to do something to lift it up and down.
Yeah.
He wanted one that actually plugged into the wall where you just pressed a button and it went up and down.
Exactly. And he wanted it to actually be really long, like as long as the desk that he used to have, and wide.
So when we're framing these things up, we're imagining the things that we desire to have in our house, in our bedrooms, in our offices, desk-wise, for all our equipment to be on. We're actually like Googling desks, and we're looking for them. We're seeing the ones that we want to have. And we're somehow believing that somehow in our future they are going to be in our rooms.
Exactly. And that was also coupled with a bit of a room makeover for both of our boys. And like I was framing up that I would have a corner desk that fitted perfectly in the room that I was in, that had more room that I could push all my paperwork and everything on.
You say you could cover it with all your junk.
Exactly. So I can cover it with all my junk. And within a couple of weeks, all of those desks showed up, didn't they?
They did. They showed up, but, like instead of just saying they just showed up and people on the podcast would go, wow, like they just Googled stuff, saw what they wanted, and they didn't even have to go anywhere or anything, and they just arrived in their house. You've left out a few stages to make it sound like more miraculous than it is, and I'm not saying it's not miraculous or not amazing, but we found these desks. We found the first big desk on the side of the road.
Yeah.
We were walking our dog.
Yeah.
And so we went home and got the car and came back and put this desk, took it apart, put it on the roof of the car and took it home.
It was free, and we'd been driving past it for like a week. It had just been sitting there and no one was taking it. And we were like, we can't believe no one's taking this desk. This is so weird. And then we're actually like, that would actually be the perfect desk.
Well, I didn't go near it because it was been outside for a few days, and I figured that if it had rained or anything, there might be something wrong with it. And then you start to think, nobody's taken it, so there's definitely something wrong with it. But it's actually the perfect desk.
It is. And we stopped and we gave it the once over. We got underneath it and everything, and we were like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually really an awesome desk.
It's been set aside for you. So now that desk is in our house, and that is your desk.
That's
and it's
my
the
desk.
Perfect, massive, big L-shaped desk, so that you have got heaps of room to spread out and put all your junk all over it. And you've done that. Like you can hardly see the desk anymore. It's just covered in all of this stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
And so that was one desk you framed up. It came into our house. And the other two, how did that happen?
Well, the first one, we were in a thrift shop / op shop, we call them in Australia. You were like, oh my goodness, there's this desk here because we've been looking for a white desk and we've been looking on Facebook Marketplace and everything like that. There was just nothing that was suitable. And anyway, I come up the back of this shop and you're there going, oh my goodness, pointing at this desk. They had reduced it as well. Like, I mean, it's already just at an op shop and it was just like exactly spot on, perfect dimensions, heavy duty. It was like shiny, glossy white. It was like so perfect.
Bigger than a regular desk with
Yeah.
a metal frame for its legs, so it can't possibly just fall apart like the one did before. The perfect desk in size, colour and shape.
Yeah.
So that landed in the bedroom of our youngest son, and we renovated his room at the same time and painted it all. So
Yeah.
now he's living in this reality of what he had desired to have his space look like has happened around him.
Yeah.
And he was very patient. He just waited and waited, and now he's actually living in the reality of a dream that he had. And our other son, the same thing. We walked into an opportunity shop or a thrift store. We call them op shops, like Kylie said. And there was this, basically, it is brand new. I don't even know why it's in there. A desk that you plug into the wall that lifts up and down to a height above a height where you could actually even work at it. It's bigger, it's better, it's stronger, it's more modern than what we had dared to even dream would be what we were able to get. And so we got that as well.
It was
and
incredible.
Put it on the roof of the car
Yeah.
and brought it home.
And our son was just going, no way. Like, he's just loving it. And like, I was walking past his room again last night and I'm like, no way. And he's like, how good is this? Like,
So
he had it
those-
all jacked up. It was really high. And
So those desires of your heart, those desires that you've had, those things that you're grateful for before they even happen, you're now grateful for because they have happened, and you're living in the reality of what you dreamed to be possible for all three of you. And now there's just me who doesn't have a desk.
you're just occupying all the other spaces in the house.
I don't need a desk. I do most of my work on an iPad,
Yeah.
which I can do on my lap, and I can sit anywhere I want to sit.
Yeah.
And so I don't need a desk. But I do have you, and I do have my children, and I do have a motorbike, I do have a car, I do have all of the things that I've ever desired to have in my life are my actual reality right now. And that's why I think that every now and again, it's not all of the time, but every now and again in the very, very distant tunnel of time, I just see that little, it's like a little blip on a life support machine where it just goes beep, and I see this little blip rise where I wonder if I'm always going to be able to live a perfect life or not. And by me raising that and being okay with talking about it, I'm aware of the fact that I am being transparent enough to say that I haven't got everything figured out, that I don't have the answers for everything. The answers that I give to other people when they ask about their future and what I think is going to happen in their future, I speak life into other people's life more so than I sometimes speak into my own.
Yeah. It's interesting how we find it easy to do that. Like, and I think the journey of knowing who we are is so much more difficult for it to become a reality for ourselves than even to be able to encourage other people that that is their reality. And that's the most powerful place, is when we have the revelation within ourselves of who we already are. And that's the beautiful part. Like, once again, we started this year declaring a year of abundance. Our very first podcast on January the 5th was The Abundant Life, Your Door to More, a place of flow and activation. It was the abundance first flowing out from within us so that the abundance can then flow in. It's this place that is shrouded in gratitude and delight, this place of delight.
You know what else happened we've forgotten to talk about, Kylie, is we both had lost our phones.
Ah, yes.
Both of us had phones that died for various reasons at the same time within the space of a couple of weeks of each other, I suppose. And at the time I had an iPhone 6S and you had a Pro Max 11, iPhone 11. And they both died, and we went through a period of months and months where we didn't have phones. I had a crappy little cheap phone I bought from the post office, the cheapest phone you could get, and it basically did what it's supposed to do in the world of phones, as in you could ring it and other people could ring it and you could make calls, but it couldn't do hardly anything else. We lost all our contacts, all our photos, all of that stuff. And dreaming about a future where we had new phones again, just because it was so clunky and difficult. We just lost contact with a lot of people. People were not able to get a hold of us. We don't know whether they think we don't like them anymore. We're not in WhatsApp groups. We're not in WeChat groups. Everything has got messy in our social media world because of the loss of our phones. And then we mention that to someone and they show up at our house with 2 phones that they happen to have in their possession that used to be phones that they used, and gave them to us.
Yeah. And they were an iPhone 6 and an iPhone 11.
So both of the phones that we were given were the exact phones that we used to have.
And I was spinning out, like I was totally spinning out. And like the whole, like this last few weeks since we've had these phones, we just keep on pinching ourselves like, oh my goodness, like how good is it to have phones that work? Like this is amazing.
Have phones that actually do what our phones used to do and have better battery power. They last. It's like if you forget to plug them in at night time, when you wake up, they've still got like 60 or 70% charge. We haven't had that for years.
I know, it's amazing. It's really, really, really cool. And I think it comes back to that place. I've been sitting in that place of stillness in the morning. You've been sitting in that place of gratitude. We're really activating the physical reality of our spiritual beliefs. And it's just amazing that these things are just happening around us.
You know, some of the reasons why I feel like just every now and again, I feel like you get that anxiety blip in the future of, I wonder if what I believe to be true is true or not. Sometimes it's because, for me, I allow into my thinking other people's thoughts, other people that I know, even in the world of Twitter or other social media platforms. If I am spending time reading about people's thoughts about the end of the world, there's a lot of discussion at the moment in the world regarding end times. It's actually Olympic time in Paris right now. There's a lot of controversy in the world of the Olympics for various reasons. There's goings on regarding rioting in the UK. There's so much to focus on, to look at in the world that makes you sometimes wonder, is everything going to be okay? That when I let a lot of that into my thinking, that I then find it easy to doubt the future being as bright as I sometimes think that it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that's that place of the lion. That's that place of being seated in your seat of rest and knowing that swirling around you are all of these things that predominantly are out of our control, and we are just functioning in the reality of what we know to be coming toward us, what we know to be true, that place like the Lion of Judah who made a way for us to what? To have life and life in abundance. And this is this place that we speak about so often in our podcast. The abundance of life is so much what we release. It's like everything good. It's like flowing from this eternal fountain within. It is not circumstantial. And this seen reality is probably the hardest part to reconcile ourselves with. It's this place, and you know, we touch briefly on this place of restoration as well, like the restoration of all things. And it begins with the restoration within of that place that we're seated in rest, where we can see all the things that are happening all around us, all of the swirling craziness of the world, and we can still know who we are. We can know that we're seated in that place of rest. We can know that that doesn't remove from us our kingship, our sonship, that we have this ability to be continually grateful and to be flowing in this space of wonder and delight. It's like this delight I was talking about, the delight, the shining ones. Like we're the shining ones. The shining ones. It's interesting too. I feel like this place of abundant flow, it comes from that knowing that we are deeply and infinitely loved. Because I was thinking about the place of flow, and it comes back to the simplicity of our first love gate. It's that place where we are first loved. This place of first love where He first loved us. Our Creator, the divine Yahweh, the one who within we are dancing. Like we're dancing in this forever dance of bliss. He's dancing with us. We're dancing with all of heaven. Our heart is the gateway into that. And that is this gateway of abundance, abundant life, the Lion of Judah making a way, the fullness of the revelation of all of those places in Scripture that are speaking to this eternal place of promise, this place of abundant life, this place of milk and honey, this place of pulled awayness, this place of healing and restoration and fullness and love. And this is the place, like this is the place that we are in, never ceasing. Do you want a scripture?
I don't want anything.
I was thinking about, okay, is there a scripture that speaks into this? And I came across James 17. Not sure what translation this is in, but every good...
It's not in the trash and translation?
Oh, the trash and translation, like where the scriptures were from last week. That's what happens when you're in the whack. So it says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. Whatever is good and perfect is a gift coming down to us from God our Father, who created all the lights in the heavens. We are those lights. Like He's the Father of lights. We're His sons and daughters. We are those shining lights. We are actually the light of the world. It is shining from within us like a beacon of hope, a beacon of life, a beacon of abundance, a beacon of flow. And I think it gets snuffed out when we forget who we are, when we become detached from His love. And that gate is not, and this is interesting too, because we did talk about this. I can't remember. Maybe we were talking about it last week.
Kylie, do you realise that I don't know what it is that I say when I listen to our podcast and I am talking? I don't realise that I have said the things that I have said.
Yes.
So if you're trying to remind me of a time in the past where I said something on a podcast or that we spoke about something, I don't know what you're talking about, because it comes out of a state of flow. It comes out of a place of just moving my lips, and releasing what it is that I believe God wants to release through me.
Yeah.
I'm not writing notes. I'm not coming prepared with notes written down to remind me of what it is that I say. Do you know that that is the case, Kylie?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You're just in the abundant flow.
So then I don't know what you're talking about.
I love it. Well, you're talking...
Do you know that podcast that we did on this? No, I don't.
You're talking about the very thing that I'm talking about. And that's the beautiful part, because it's like we were talking the other day about heaven. You know how we go up? Oh, we're going up. We're going up into heaven.
No, I don't go up.
And then you said, oh, but we don't ever leave heaven. We're always seated there. So we're never going up and down, because it's this place within. And I love that, because if we see that and we remember that out of this verse, that it says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. Whatever is good and perfect is a gift coming down to us from God our Father, who created all the lights in the heaven. And his dwelling place is within us. So the up and down is all within.
And I think that over time we've separated the up and the down as in a place that we go to when we die, we go up into heaven. And therefore, because we go up into heaven when we die, when we're alive, we're down somewhere else. And that is
Exactly.
where we are now. We're down on earth living, and when we die, we go to heaven. That's the thinking that we have somehow slipped into. But my thinking is that we function in both places at the same time. Like you say,
Yeah.
God's within us, we're within him. God exists in heaven. We're seated in heavenly places.
Yeah.
So all of these places of heaven and earth and God and spirit are all in the one location, which are all inside of us. So there's no stepping into heaven to have a look around. There's no ascending into heaven anymore. Those are just exercises to get our mind to realize that we have the ability. But once you know that you can, you're actually seated there at all times.
Exactly. And when we're seated there, that is the place that empowers us to be the fullness of who we are. And it gives us courage to choose our unique pathway, the one that only we can walk. And that's the crazy part, like you were talking about before, you know, how you were saying, how do we encourage people in their walk? Like we're saying all of these mystical things, and what does that really mean? When I said that I started doing that practical application of being seated in my seat of rest by doing daily meditation, seated in my backyard, my little kingdom of plants, where I was finding that place that actually was this picture to myself about the reality of my inner kingdom in this place, this world. Yeah, just finding that place, because your answers are within you for your beautiful, unique pathway.
It's frustrating though, Kylie, because a lot of us want someone else to tell us what it is that we should be believing, what it is that we should be thinking about the future. We ask questions because we want someone else to give us the answers. But you're telling me that the answers are somehow within you.
That's right. And that's only because we are going through this process of adapting to living a kingdom life and to learning what it is to be in sonship and not in servanthood. Because in servanthood, like, it's just like going to school. We've learnt this way of acquiring knowledge and how we receive our information. And we receive that from somebody who is the all-knowing one, the teacher, who is the person, the professor, the specialist in this area, the pastor or whoever it happens to be, that we feel like knows more about this than we do. But as we're starting to go into this kingdom age where everything is expanded and we're starting to understand that it's all held within each one of us, we are traversing and stepping out into these unknown pathways that we actually are engaging with wisdom herself, with the one who has all the answers for each one of us within us. We are the dwelling place of his spirit.
It's frustrating, Kylie, because we want other people to give us the answers.
Exactly. But it's adapting to the new way, the new now. The new now is our own personal empowering in our own personal journey and our own personal relational walk with the creator of all things.
So do you mean to tell me that it's as simple as actually just believing that God would talk to me uniquely and therefore if he's talking to me uniquely, that he would talk to other people?
Yeah.
Like one-on-one,
Yeah.
uniquely, like outside of their relationship with their pastor or some other
Yes.
learned person?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Is it that easy?
It's
Are
that
you
easy.
telling me that every issue that I have, I can actually just talk to the creator of the universe about and find
Yeah.
an answer for that?
Yes. Yeah. And listen to all the different parts of your adventure that are speaking to that thing that won't go away, that little voice in your heart, like that stranger that approaches you in a park while you're reading a book and says, I just really feel like I need to tell you it's time to get on a plane. Like,
So therefore, you're not actually saying that because, you, Kylie, has an intimate relationship with the Creator that you then ignore every other human on earth because they're of no benefit to you.
no. But I'm just saying be expanded in your capacity to receive answers from everywhere because all things are possible.
And everyone.
And everyone.
A donkey?
A donkey? A non-Christian movie.
You mean like secular stuff?
Yes.
Like secular music?
Something made by the world.
What about that song AC/DC sings Highway to Hell? Surely there's nothing good about that song.
You never know. All things are possible. All things are possible when we walk with the Creator of all in the center of our being on our own unique pathway into the forever now.
What about if I'm cruising around town with a Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life t-shirt on?
What about that?
Well, I'm like sharing my faith with people and my opinion about how it is that you should live your life by accepting that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. I've got it on my shirt, and I'm telling you that's how you should be thinking as well.
And that's true, but that also in reverse might just be an exercise that that person feels like they need to do because they're stripping away their fear of man. So they're wearing that shirt because they're going, okay, I'm going to wear this shirt today because I am desiring to not be worried about what people think. And I think that, that you never know. There's all kinds of different reasons why we might be activated in different activities that are helping us to break out of our current understanding and take us on the process of the renewal of our mind and bring us into the fullness of our abundant flow.
For years and years and years, for as long as I can remember, every time you travel anywhere in Australia in the outback, there's little signs in the trees. Just every now and again, every couple of 100 kilometres or so, there's a little white sign with red writing.
Yeah.
And they've got variations of messages on them
like Jesus saves, the end is coming.
Yeah, that's right. It's usually something to do with the end and how you need to prepare yourself to be saved by Jesus. So there's someone or a group of people travelling around who have decided that that's their ministry, that that's what they do to bring enlightenment to people's lives, that they are needing Jesus in their life and to be ready for the end of the world. So when we see things like that, as a person who makes judgments, like yourself, because you're a very judgmental Christian person, you would decide whether that's right or wrong. But for someone like me who's non-judgmental, I see something like that and I just think, how wonderful is that somebody believes that God has told them to do that and is doing that, and that sign can positively impact a person's life at some stage when they see that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just think that is being the lion seated on the throne, overlooking the kingdom, knowing that all of these things are happening around us and not all of them look that great. Not all of them are conducive to everything being good. Not all of them are kind or any of those things. But each person is powerful to make a decision about what they're putting their energy into in any given day, because we're all, every single one of us on this earth, living in an eternal now.
Are you in ministry, Kylie?
We talked about that this week too. What even is that? What does it mean to be in ministry?
We were told recently that our ministry does this or that.
Yeah.
That Sean and Kylie, your ministry, this is what I see it doing.
And I think I thought of myself as being in ministry. I guess because we're just having conversations and we're not necessarily, we don't have a church or anything like that. But I think we are encouraging a community and a body of people who are on a journey together. We do have a synchronicity with hearts that are wanting to be expanded and wanting to be inclusive and wanting to love greater ourselves and love greater one another, and just to be able to go, yeah, actually, it's okay if those people are choosing that because they're powerful too.
You know what I think about the way that we're conversational about spirituality and that type of thinking is, even though we're just conversational and we're presenting to each other variations of thinking and trying to somehow sharpen each other and come to, a realization that the future is bright. Like, that's what I feel like has happened to me today. I feel like listening to what you've shared that, I can accept that the future is going to be better again than what I thought it was going to be. So I think that you're ministering to me in that way. So you're helping me to believe that something is true. You're sharing a slice of God with me. So even though we're just conversational, I think that the undertone of what it is that we do bring to the world is an encouragement that the Creator has a deep desire to be in relationship with every person. I can't sort of withdraw myself from that understanding. I feel like if we're in ministry, then that is what our ministry is to help people understand that you were created for a reason. You're not just an accident that just happened to be here. And therefore that because you were created by a being called God, that he also loves you and has a desire for you to be in relationship with him, to live a life beyond what you think is possible. If we're in ministry, that's our story.
Yeah, that's right. And the piece of that too is that we are created not when we come into the revelation of who we are, and we're on this journey with Yahweh, with our Creator in the divine dance with the Trinity, exploring what it is that we are here for, that we actually are not here for ministry. We're here for life and life in abundance.
We're here as sons and here as daughters. And
We're here for fun on the water slides.
yeah, and when you come into the realization that that's what you're here for, then you just can accept that that's the case.
Yeah.
You don't have to say a certain prayer or come forward in a church to confess your sins and cry to get across this line, to step into a place where at some stage, if you happen to die, you get to go to heaven. All of that is not our ministry. Our ministry is one of helping you understand that you're actually already in relationship with the Creator, and you just need to come into that awareness, and from that place, walking out your existence on earth with him
Yeah.
is the greatest place to be.
Absolutely. Eckhart Tolle, he says, acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. The Lion's Gate 2024 is this powerful period of aligning with cosmic energies and promoting our personal and collective transformation. We're stepping into this place. We're acknowledging that we are sons and daughters of the Creator, that we are in this place. The Lion of Judah sat there. In his seat of rest over all things that were and are to come, knowing that we are living in the fullness of life and life in abundance that was bought for us. And this is exciting. We're excited to release the flow, the goodness, the joy, the bliss, the life.
So one of the things that I'm extremely grateful for all of the time, Kylie, when I wake up in the morning outside of you and our children and where we live, etc., is the people that listen to our podcast and the people that are also a part of allowing us to present it to the world. So the people that partner with us in Patreon, there's people that give us $5 a week or $10 a week. There's people that give us more than that. There's people that have given us large amounts of money in one go. There's lots of different ways that people have partnered with us over time that I'm extremely grateful for, because they are the people, they are the reason why I get to live the life that I am grateful for living, because people are partnering with us in that way. And so I thank you for partnering with us via Patreon, for allowing us to live this life that we're grateful for. It is beyond my comprehension, really, of what our life would look like if people hadn't decided to partner with us that way.
Yeah, and like you were saying before, you know, when you have those moments of thinking, when will this end? It's the belief that people have actually invested their finances and their gratitude and have cheered us on in it. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, because it's those people that have allowed us to continue to press through those times where we've actually gone, is this even making a difference? Is anyone even listening, and are they liking it? So we would love to hear from you guys. If you're really enjoying the podcast, we would love to hear your feedback, because sometimes it is a lonely place doing your whole ministry online, because you're not getting that necessarily that interaction with people. And one of the beautiful things we did do over the last month, we have done one-on-ones with our patrons if they have wanted to do that. It's been a real joy. We did one this week with a gorgeous girl, one of the beautiful patrons that is from southern Victoria and in Australia. And wow, like what a blissful time of just connection and just believing in one another's dreams and cheering one another on, and us being able to express our gratitude and just to be able to hear about what's happening in the lives of some of these people that are very precious to us. So that's been a great experience to be able to do that.
Yeah, because as you choose to partner with us, we understand that it comes in the form of $5 or $10 or whatever amount it is a month that allows us to do things. But the partnering side of it is that we also partner and come into agreement with the desires of your heart as well. We thank you for listening to us. We thank you for allowing us to speak into your world. We thank you that you would choose to press play on Spotify and that you would share what it is that we share with the world with other people. We are knowing that we have people who are listening. We don't know who they are. We know that people are listening to this podcast all around the world and are sharing it. We've also recently put a little bit of content on YouTube, and that is also starting to gain some attraction, even if it's only 100 people or 120 people. In the big scheme of things with YouTube and those sorts of things, that's not a lot of people. But for us, every person is a person. Every person that watches anything or listens to anything that we put out is just like a body that walks past us on the street. It's a real person. It's an interaction. So we're extremely grateful that we get to do this. We're extremely grateful that people are also partnering with us, and we are believing for more. We're believing for more partnering. We're believing for more income to come into our space, because we're believing that our future is brighter. And as we've talked through this podcast today, and I've shared some of my thinking about how I, wonder if the future is brighter or if everything's going to change and it's all going to pass away, that just comes from a place of being transparent about what life is actually like. But at the bottom of it all, my base understanding of everything, my connection with the creator of everything tells me that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's right. It's beautiful. Yeah, and it astounds me that we have people that are listening in America. We've got people that listen in, or should I say the USA. We've got people that listen in Canada, in Alaska, people in India. Hello, our beautiful Indian listeners. We've got people in South Africa.
We've been to India
a
few
few
times.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't been to the US yet, and we look forward. I'm just going to
Yes.
plant a seed with my mouth.
Yeah.
We look forward to coming to your country and traveling across your country on a Harley Davidson in the future and visiting you individually in your homes, in your churches, and we look forward to seeing your country. It's a place that we've seen right throughout our entire life on film, because a lot of the content that we get on our televisions in Australia is from the US, so it's like we've been there visually, but we really look forward to a future of visiting people all around the world and people that have also partnered with us by listening to our podcast.
I know, that's it. Beautiful people in Belgium, in France, in the UK, in the Philippines, in Taiwan, Qatar, and Bahrain.
I was imagining the other day that I was riding different motorbikes in different parts of the world, and that the motorbikes that I'm riding in different parts of the world are actually manufactured in the countries that I'm riding them in.
I love that.
So I'm riding Vespas through Italy. I'm riding a Harley Davidson through the US. I'm riding a Triumph through the UK.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. And that's it. We're framing up our reality, and those things are coming toward us. And we're believing with you for all of the beautiful things that you're framing up for your life to be coming toward you too. We can't encourage you enough to just start to activate the physicality of some of these places, like this seat of rest, activating the gratitude, activating the giving, sowing the seeds, and just starting to see all of these things come back in a beautiful and powerful way.
So my one word of advice, Kylie, in our ministry that we've ministered to other people today would be to connect with the Creator. That's
Yes.
it for me. Like,
Yeah.
just spend some time today connecting with the Creator. That's my advice for you. What's your advice for somebody listening today?
I love
If
it.
there was one piece of advice.
Yeah, yes. Just be activated in that place of bliss. Just give yourself time to breathe. Just take deep breaths and feel within you that gate of love opening up so that all of those other things can flow out of that place of knowing who you are.
We thank you so much for listening to our podcast today, our Reimagine podcast. We ask that you share it with other people.
Yes.
And that you like, subscribe, etc., all of those things on social media. Anytime you see Reimagine or Wildfire Tribe, go to our website as well, wildfiretribe.life, and check out some of the things that we have on offer there. Thank you for listening to us today.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.